Hi, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekend System. And I'm glad to be here each and every week. I do these lives and I call them Auto Shop Success in 15 minutes. Do them for a couple of reasons. The first reason is for owners to be able to look at their business from that 30,000 foot view. A lot of times owners are so caught up in the day to day that they don't have time to do that. It's 15 minutes a week or less to actually invest in yourself, your team, your customers, and your business. Make it a win win win. The second reason I do this is for you to take one action item each and every week. You will hear me say this all the time, like a broken record. Whether you hear me on a live or I'm actually presenting at a conference or if it's on a coaching call, the action is in the doing. You could listen to me, you can listen to a podcast, read a book, whatever. That magic that happens is when you do, and you are going to get results and you're going to get them sooner than if you do not implement. So each week I give you an action item. So I want to get started because I find this to be a very, very giving group. If you find this valuable, please share it with another shop owner. There's a lot of shop owners that are consumed by their business. They feel 24/7 they're going all the time. They're not present even when they're home and they're physically there or out and about. They're still focusing on work. So share it with someone that you feel it could help. So busy is not the same as profitable. And I want this to sink in because this is a meaty topic. Today, what I want to talk about is a trap a lot of owners fall into, believing that busy means profitable. But I actually think that the shop is busy, things are going on, and they think that they're profitable. And I get why this happens because when the phones are ringing, the bays are full, the parking lot is packed, the team is moving, it can feel like the business is winning. From the outside, everything looks good. Cars are coming in, work is being sold, technicians are working, customers are picking up their vehicles. So sales are happening. But then the bills come due, payroll hits, part statements show up, rent or the mortgage is due. The credit card bill lands in your email box, right? The inbox, and taxes are coming. And the owner looks at the bank account and thinks, where did the money go? That's frustrating. And it's also confusing because in the owner's mind, a busy month should feel better than that. I hear this all the time. But here is where this is the part that we need to really be honest about. So, this is where we have to really be honest. Busy does not mean profitable. And I want to dig deeper here. A shop can have strong sales and still have a weak profit. A shop can be full and still leak money. A shop can look successful from the outside and still create stress for the owner behind the scenes. And a lot of times owners don't realize that their team notices it, notices the stress that they feel. So that's why for the month of July, I have been sending out and will continue sending out emails and doing lives on numbers. Numbers are leadership signals. So we're not looking at numbers just to look at numbers. We're looking at numbers because they tell us something about how the shop is being led. And this week, the signal is profit. That's what I want to talk about. So busy can hide profit problems, right? Whether you're here live or you're on the recording, let me know in the comments if this is resonating. A busy shop can hide a lot. It can hide weak pricing, poor workflow, too much discounting or discounting in general, low labor production, part margin problems, comebacks, jobs that should have not been approved, and a team that is working hard but not producing the right result. Is that relatable? Any of those? Or if you could think of one that I didn't mention, feel free to put it in the comments. If you think of what busy can actually hide in a shop. Maybe it's something that you experienced years ago and you were able to correct it or improve it. This is why busy can feel so misleading. The activity makes it look like busy is healthy. Business is healthy because everything's moving. But activity is not the same as financial health. Being busy, being active doesn't necessarily mean that the business has financial health. This is where shop owners need to separate three things: sales, profit, and cash. I want to dive deeper into this for you. Sales tell you how much work came in, and sales matter, but sales alone do not mean the shop is healthy. Gross profit tells you whether the work was priced and produced properly. This is where you start to see if labor, parts, and job mix are supporting the business. Net profit tells you whether the business model is actually working after your expenses. And cash tells you about timing. Cash pressure may come from slow collections, large bills, payroll timing, debt, inventory, uneven sales, they're not consistent, or weak profit. Those four that I mentioned, the two profit ones, sales and cash, those are connected, but they're not the same thing. So when an owner treats every money problem the same, they can easily make the wrong decision. Has this ever happened to you? I know as a shop owner myself, I've been a shop owner since 1999. And those early days, I could relate to a lot of these things. So if cash feels tight, the owner may think, we need more sales. Maybe that is true. Maybe it's not. Maybe the shop already has enough sales, but the gross profit is too low. Maybe the team is discounting too quickly. Maybe parts margins are weak. Maybe too much labor time is being lost. And maybe expenses have grown faster than the business could actually support. So more sales does not solve a profit problem if work is being sold or produced in the wrong way. Let that land for a minute. It's not necessarily more sales. In fact, more work at weak profit can make the shop even feel worse. So when you think if those profits are weak and you just keep adding more work to it, more work to the schedule, more work to the week, the month, the year, it's going to make the shop feel worse. And here's why. Now the team is busier, the owner is more stressed, and the bank account still does not reflect the effort, all that effort that's being put in. So this is not a sales problem. When you look at that, it's not a sales problem. That's actually a profit signal. So I want you to think about this. Think about a leadership question. Let's take this approach of this, the way of busy not being profitable doesn't mean the same thing, right? Busy does not mean profitable. Let's take a look at this from a leadership perspective. The question is not only how much should we sell? And we do that. We pull up our reports on a monthly basis, weekly basis, right? And how much should we sell this week? The question is not only that. A better question is, did the work we sold create the profit that we needed? That question changes the conversation. It moves the owner out of reacting into leading, putting them in control. Because when a shop is busy, but the profit is weak, the business is trying to tell you something, right? Something in the pricing, the workflow, the expenses, the timing, the accountability, the decision making, something needs attention. This is not about blaming the team. Because if that's what you're thinking it is, I'm going to call you out on it. That is lazy leadership. This is about looking at the signal and asking, what is creating this result? If gross profit is low, what is underneath that? Where is that coming from? Are we pricing correctly? Are we discounting too often? Are we giving away diagnostic time? Are parts margins where they need to be? Are we selling the right work for our shop? Are jobs taking longer than expected? Are we allowing too many interruptions in the workflow? Are we saying yes to work that doesn't fit the shop? Are we saying yes just to say yes? Are we training our advisors to communicate value or leaving them to figure it out? Those are leadership questions. A number is really just a number. It usually points to a behavior, a process, a decision, or a missing standard. What makes busy? What busy can be hiding? I want to give you some examples here, like real examples. If a shop has high sales but low gross profit, busy may be hiding weak pricing. The team may be selling work, but not at the margins the business needs. They're too worried about what other shops are pricing. That creates pressure because the shop is doing the work without keeping enough of the money. If a shop has a strong car count but low labor sales, busy may be hiding poor inspection process, maybe a weak estimate presentation, low billed hours, or scheduling issues. The team may be touching a lot of vehicles without producing enough of profitable labor. If the shop has good sales, but cash is tight, busy may be hiding timing problems, parts bills, payroll pressure, debt payments, or expenses that have creeped up over time, and you haven't factored them in as a true cost of business. If the team is constantly rushing, busy may be hiding workflow problems. The shop may be filled, but the work may not be moving smoothly. Parts may not be ready, estimates may be delayed, customers may not be updated, technicians may be waiting. That's a real one there. Technicians may be waiting. It's one I see often. Stopping, starting, and losing production time. I have to figure out why. If the owner is still involved in every decision, this is a big one. Busy may be hiding owner dependency. The shop looks active, but the business is still relying on the owner to push everything forward. Otherwise, it comes to a halt. So that is why we have to stop worshiping busy. Oh, we're slammed. I'm so busy, like it's the best thing in the world. Busy is not the goal. Profitable, sustainable, and enjoyable is the goal. A shop that is busy but chaotic is not the goal. A shop that is busy but not profitable is not the goal. A shop that is busy but burns out the owner and the team is not the goal. The work has to support the business. A win for the customer, make it a win for the team, and a win for the shop. So the wrong reaction is when cash feels tight or profit is weak, many owners react very quickly. They discount to close the sale, right? And get that job. They delay bills. They avoid hiring. They push more work through an already tired team. They say yes to jobs that they should have said no to. And they jump back into the day-to-day and start carrying more themselves. That reaction may feel responsible in the moment, but it keeps the owner and the business stuck because reacting to pressure without understanding the source creates more pressure. The better move is to pause and diagnose what kind of problem you actually have. Get to the root cause, just like we do with automobiles, just like we do with vehicles that come into the shop. So ask yourself, is this a sales problem, a profit problem, or a cash timing problem? Those are three different problems, and they need three different decisions. A sales problem may require follow-up, stronger marketing, improved customer communication, or a better estimate presentation. A profit problem may require price change, margin review, stop discounting, improve productivity, or tighten workflow. And a cash timing problem may require looking at your receivables, payment timing, part bills, debt, inventory, or how much money moves in and out of the business on a regular basis. When you name the problem accurately, the decision becomes very, very clear, crystal clear. So here's what I want you to do. This week, I don't want you to look at every number in your business. That's where owners get buried. I want you to look at a recent busy week or a recent busy month and ask, did the work we sold create profit that we needed? Do not stop it. We were busy. That question is too shallow. Ask what busy may have been hiding, right? What did that busy actually look like? What happened? So that's what you want to do this week. Identify which category needs your attention. Sales, profit, cash timing, workflow, pricing, discounting, or owner decision making. Don't try to solve everything all at once. Pick one signal that stands out and decide what needs to happen next. So each week, I also leave you with a pro thinking tip. A full schedule may make an owner feel successful, but profit tells the truth. Busy only helps when work is priced right, completed efficiently, and paid for on time. Here's what I want you to remember. Busy is activity, profit is health, and cash is timing. Leadership is knowing the difference between those. So if you're only looking at how busy your shop is, you may miss what business is trying to tell you. That business is telling you something. And that's it for Auto Shop Success. Thank you so much for being here. I know this live went a little longer, but the financials is something that I get asked a lot about, and I wanted to do this live. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments, whether you're live or you're on the replay. I will respond to all of them. Thanks again, and have an enjoyable week.